James Comey is the head of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of, Investigation. All along, as the FBI has been investigating Hillary Clinton, Clinton's team kept coming out and going, no, it's not an investigation. Well, what is it if it's not an investigation? Quote, it's a security inquiry. Oh, I see. That's not a thing. That's like enhanced interrogation. No such thing exists. You made that up. Here's what I mean by that. There is nothing in FBI regulations, laws, rules that says, okay, here's an official investigation and here's what we call a security inquiry. No, it's a made-up Orwellian word, right? Now, don't take my word for it. How about we ask the head of the FBI, Comey? He says, quote, I'm not familiar with the term security inquiry. We're conducting an investigation. That's what we do. He went on to say, it's in our name, okay? And then, and it is, investigations literally in their name. So when asked, well, look, Hillary Clinton, a lot of people are convinced, is not going to be charged, and there's, she's too powerful, and et cetera, right? And he said, quote, there are no special set of rules for anyone that the FBI investigates. Now, that might seem super obvious, right? But apparently it isn't. And by the way, I get that even if they were going to play politics, that he would say something along those lines, right? No special set of rules, and then turn around when the cameras are off. Special set of rules, are you kidding me? But there are reports coming now from leaks, et cetera, that is in the mainstream press, okay, about how FBI agents say, come on, anybody else in the government that did this and had a private server built into their house so they could circumvent government email. And then, now, to be fair to Hillary Clinton, it appears based on what we know now that these emails were not classified when they were sent. But afterwards, about 1,000 of them now have been classified, 22 top secret. I get why that's really unfair to Hillary Clinton, and I've been saying that all along. Well, you can't hold her accountable for a classification that didn't exist back then. And that's why she still has a good chance of avoiding any real legal liability here, because you have to show intent. And if they weren't classified as top secret back then, well, how could she possibly have intent to share top secret or classified information? So those are all really good points. But all these FBI investigators aren't investigating her for their health. And the thing that does show intent is setting up not just, hey, oh man, I forgot, man, and I emailed this through my Yahoo account, right? Or given her her AOL account. No, she set up a private server in her house. Do you know that the guy who set up that server, all the emails between Hillary Clinton and him have been deleted? So, but that seems to show intent. Now, do we know what he thinks about it? Well, we don't, but the FBI does, because they gave him immunity, and he already testified. This thing seems to be coming to a head. All the leaks are saying that they've interviewed everyone but Hillary Clinton. They're going to soon interview Hillary Clinton, and the investigation is coming near a close. The idea that it is some sort of sub-investigation, a security inquiry, I beseech you, it's a pleasant request. No, there's no such thing. It's an official FBI investigation. So don't let anybody lie to you and tell you otherwise. So that doesn't mean she's going to be indicted or convicted or handcuffed or any of that stuff. But it does mean that at the end of the investigation, the FBI will make a recommendation to the Justice Department, and the Justice Department then will have to make a decision. If the FBI said, we think we've got enough evidence to indict, well, that would be a hell of a thing for the State Department not to indict. If Clinton supporters have secret information from the FBI that they know for a fact that their investigation is going to conclude not to indict, even before they spoke to Hillary Clinton, well, that would be a hell of a thing to know. Right now, this thing looks super serious.